welcome back to another Vivarium update, and we will soon be diving right into it, but first I have two shoutouts to make. First, I am revealing a new sponsorship agreement with Ant Keeping Depot. They have basically anything ant keeping related, and you can easily find their online shop on Google. I hope you guys are fine with this. They really made a good impression on me. Second, this channel that has sent me a new audio recorder. So if you think my narrating sounds better now than before, it is thanks to this guy. But now, let's begin. And as you know, the land in the Vivarium is still barren, and not much flora or fauna has established yet. But there has been some hitchhikers. See if you can see her in this time lapse. Well, as you saw, this was a Camponotus queen. Where did she come from? I had no idea. She was also behaving strangely as she actually foraged around the Vivarium. As a claustral ant queen, she shouldn't do this. But then she revealed her free passage into the Vivarium. She had a small founding chamber in the large birch trunk. I can just hope that this adventurous queen makes it, because queens like her tend not to. Well, I think it's time to properly introduce the only amphibian in this Vivarium, the European fire salamander. It is a really cool species that feeds on loads of invertebrates, such as, here it comes, isopods, soft beetles, worms, and snails. That's a cute one, which is great for the Vivarium. They will be both essential apex predators that keeps the ecosystem balanced. No, there are two of them, yeah, as I said. A male and a female, I think. And I hope that they might choose to make some love in this Vivarium. I got these two cuties a while ago. When I got them, they were super tiny, but nevertheless, I quickly made them a Vivarium so that they could in the future adapt to the future home that I would give them, the big Vivarium. And I aimed for a moist, temperate habitat for them, and I think it was quite successful actually. Finished, the Vivarium was mossy, humid, and absolutely full of prey for them to hunt. And yeah, that was the Vivarium. As I look at the footage now, I can actually see how small they were. Have a look at this. Oh man, I can't imagine that these are the apex predators of the Vivarium tank. Like, all the other animals, almost all of them, are super scared of these guys. How irrational. Anyways, they soon became friends, and I could differentiate them from the different pattern they had on their heads. You see the yellow stripe on their nose. But soon the day of the introduction came, and they both eagerly explored further in the Vivarium. Although one of them tried to squeeze into the pump of the waterfall, and I had to save him by deconstructing the waterfall and then remaking it again. He really got me there for making them wait to live in their new home. Darn it. But they soon settled, and I had no idea how much or how often I would see them in the upcoming weeks. Maybe only once a year, or month, week, day. I guess we will just have to see. There were some land that still was not entirely finished, but they had more than enough space to explore and forage. And also in the waterfall, it even had some flowers as well as a shroom. But bottom line, the majority of the inhabitants now had to hide as a new pair of predators just moved in. It is getting serious now, guys. The wheel of evolution will soon crush the ones that don't mind its inevitability in there. An example of another baby predator that I have seen hunt in the leaf litter of the vivarium is what I think is a ground beetle larva. This guy hunts and eats mostly worms and other critters. Funnily enough, it also plays dead when disturbed. Until touched. Hehe, look at that. Wait. Oh, give this man an Oscar, come on. Cheeky little bastard. I hope he will make it to an adult beetle in the vivarium, though. There are other adult beetles in the vivarium as well, such as this little guy that you have seen here. This species I suspect is Birus pilula. This beetle is pretty cool as he always, every day, literally every day, without exception, wanders up this log to graze on the moss. According to the web, he also feeds on algae, which is great. At the moment he has 2 feeding grounds, and I love to see him. He looks so peaceful and clumsy at the same time, which is an inspirational combination, I think. Oh god, I wish I was like that. Okay, nevertheless, there are also other beetles inside, such as this one. Unfortunately, I know less about them. Well, I think it is time to introduce our first ants. Here is my colony of ants belonging to the species Camponotus phallax. And this small colony has been given a chance to settle in this vivarium. Because of their small size in numbers, there is a chance that they by accident get extinct from the vivarium, but we can all hope that they manage to found a healthy colony. Pretty cool though, since they are going to be the first ants to ever live in there. A small step for an ant, but a giant leap for antkind. But somehow they refused to move out from their test tube. When I found them in the morning, still nested in the test tube, I decided to simply put their test tube underground and let them safely move out when they felt like it. Some days passed, and as you can see, they are participating here in dealing with this roach. But what also happened is that our adventurous ant queen was foraging out again. What the hell is she doing? This is extremely rare and dangerous for her. But first, let's finish this time lapse. I enjoyed it a lot. Oh god. Well, back to this lady. Who the hell do you think you are? This is not safe. You see yourself maybe as a pill bug, is that it? Well, you're not one. Go back to your founding chamber, now! She continued strolling around. I don't know why. Maybe her chamber was destroyed, taken, or maybe she was even infertile, just trying to get herself killed. But all of a sudden, she showed interest in the newly introduced Camponodus phalanx colony. I was really confused and I did not know what to expect or do. Nature was about to show us something interesting for sure. She proceeded by walking into their nest. Oh my god, this is insanity. What in the... It is hard to see, but she is in there, begging for it. Night passed, and the next morning she was still in there, blocking their entrance. And hours passed, and she eventually got surrounded on both sides by the workers. Then, as you probably guessed, she eventually got taken care of by them. And the story of the Mad Queen was over with. Truly weird. If anyone has any explanation for this, please let me know. But the Ant Queen out, new ant colony in. This time it is one of our or my favorites, Lasius umbratus. I like them because of their interesting behavioral biology. Let me explain by showing how I made this colony work. The queen of this species is a social parasite, which means that she, in order to found her nest, infiltrates into another ant colony and steals all the workers by killing their existing mother, the queen. And somehow she tricks them into thinking that she is their own mother with pheromones. Hence, when I caught the queen, I had to get some slave workers, in this case belonging to the species Lasius flavus. Workers ready, I let the queen do the difficult task of adopting her new slave workers. It looks harsh, but it's part of the process. Although it is really hard and the chances of her succeeding are slim, but both her and henceforth I was lucky, as she made it. It is hard to grasp how amazing this is, how another species has completely hijacked another species solemnly by communicational skills. Just like Bob that always talks his way into a party. Really, Bob? The difference in species is even more clear in this video, when the slave ants were from the species Lasius niger, a black ant species, all living together as a single colony. Amazing. Well, as you can guess, by now I simply put their test tube inside and let them explore their surroundings. They quickly found honey, as you can see. They also had to explore with, or alongside, a strangely traveling worm. I don't know what he's doing there. Well, I will let the rest of their settlement be left unnarrated, or without me talking, basically. So, enjoy! And that's about it for this video. As you can see here, the soil is starting to become extremely bioactive, and the rest of the vivarium is starting to as well. I hope that you stay cozy at home, protected from the Rona, and the vivarium and I will await you for another update when we will welcome an even greater new inhabitant.